We then proceeded at that point into our simulated countdown.
Lunchtime, kids! All right!
Yum, 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 yum.
Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
There we go. Couldn't unmute my mic for a second. Welcome to the lunch break, everybody. Very, very nice to have you here with us. It is not our last show before the new year. We will be here on Monday, but it is closing in on the new year, and it's our first show back after Christmas. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas holiday, or whatever it is you ended up doing. I hope you had a couple days off work at least and enjoyed yourself. I'm Matt. I'm your host for today. We've got Christina in the booth. Christina, say hello.
Hello.
Very nice to have you here.
Yes, it's so nice to be back. I am producing. I need my producing hours.
You need to get those chops up, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely.
This is the place to do it. I can tell you that much. Like this is the breeding ground for all great talent. The lunch break here on RNCN. Yeah, I'm glad to have you here. Zach and Anna are both on assignment. They are out. Anna's still out of the country. I believe she flies back tomorrow. Zach, I think, is in Colorado. We're kind of holding the fort down on our own right now. But that's cool.
We are. I just showed their sad, empty chairs. It makes me sad.
the sad. I'm all by myself in this giant studio. We will have a guest on a little later, but she is held up for the moment. But before we get to that, we are approaching the new year. Christina, do you do big New Year's Eve things? Is that one of your things?
I used to, and then I got old. So
yeah, I'm kind of the same way, right? I remember it being like a big deal when I was younger, and I mean. I don't just mean like in my teenage or my partying years. I mean, I remember being a kid and wanting to stay up for New Year's and thinking it was the coolest thing in the world. And then as you get older, you do the New Year's Eve parties and stuff like that. But gosh, I want to say last year we probably went to bed at like 10 o'clock or something like that. It just doesn't. I wanted to hold fast to that tradition, even if I wasn't out like getting myself hammered all night. I wanted to at least say, okay, I'm going to stay up till midnight. And I do that on plenty of occasions throughout the year. Several times a week, I'll probably be up until midnight or later. Right. But for whatever reason on New Year's, it's like, I'll just get tired and say, I don't really need to stay up and everybody's out doing stuff and I'm not. And so I'm just going to go to bed, I guess. Are you kind of the same way? Or did you ever go through a phase where you were like, I'm into New Year's. New Year's is a thing.
I was ridiculous when I was younger. Like I was super into New Year's. I felt like if you didn't have New Year's plans, you weren't cool, and I always had to be cool. So I would do like the go to downtown. I would do the bar hopping in a limo.
Wow.
Yeah, I did some crazy stuff, and then I started like as I got older, I would have parties. So I didn't have to like drive and be out on the road. Like
you throw your own party?
Yes, I would throw my own party. Because the worst part about New Year's is driving with all of the other drunk drivers out there. Not that I drive drunk, but I'm just saying like even being out on the roads.
There are a lot of people out driving drunk on New Year's.
Oh, definitely. And I don't even like to be in a cab because just because you're getting a ride home doesn't mean that some drunk driver's not going to like run into that cab. You know what I mean? So right. I like to stay home and have parties. I think this year I'm actually going to go to a bar down the street.
Quick question. Did we actually go live on Facebook?
I did press live.
I was just asking because it wasn't showing.
Oh, lovely. I pressed live, but now we went live on
Okay,
Facebook.
great, good.
So welcome, Facebook people.
Welcome back, Facebook audience. Not a problem. I've had that happen plenty of times before. It doesn't always work the first time you click it.
And the worst part about it is it's showing on the screen like it is going live. So you're like, oh yeah, it's going live. I see my delayed self on there.
Yeah. There we are. Perfect.
I told you it's not a show unless I have one or two mistakes.
Yeah. So we're talking about New Year's Eve for the did you ever go to like the big, I know Dallas does like fireworks and does the concerts and things like that. Gosh, I need to pull this. There's an amazing video from a Los Angeles one that just went absolutely haywire that I'll have to pull for Monday. But yeah, like I've never done the New York thing. I've never done the ball drop, but I've been to the Dallas one on occasion and a couple of other like themed New Year's Eve parties that were put on by radio stations or things like that. Was that ever your thing, or did you just kind of make your own fun? I
did it a couple of times, and it was so crowded. Like, we lost our friends. Half of our friends ended up going back to the hotel. We ended up, like, one of our friends got mad at us because we ended up leaving him by himself. We had no idea. Like, you can't find anyone when you're down in those places.
No.
It's insane. But it's I guess it's a good thing to experience once or twice. I don't know.
The New York one looks like a nightmare. When I see the shots of people just jam-packed shoulder to shoulder, and I've been through there. I've been through Times Square, and it's like to think about trying to get in and out of this place. I guess you're not driving and finding parking, but even just trying to get a cab down there or walking down there, it just looks miserable. Like that's an all-day affair that you're stuck on the street, just waiting.
In the cold, in the New York cold.
Yeah. And just waiting for a ball to drop. I'm not. I'll watch it on TV, I guess.
I will say, I think the best way to handle that is kind of like the Macy's Day Parade. You get a hotel room, and you do it from your hotel room, and you don't have to go down in the crowds. Maybe have a party in your hotel room or something.
Yeah, I think that's not bad. We did have a night where we had gone out to a big, I think some radio station threw a party. We went out to that. It was an all-night thing. We left at like 1. And to your point about drunk drivers, we had a designated driver. My girlfriend at the time was driving, but there was totally a guy coming the wrong way on the highway, like just blazed past us in the next lane. Oh my gosh! And I was like, good grief, just thinking about, be safe, folks, is all I'm saying. It's not even just enough to take care of yourself. Watch out for the other people on the road, and yeah, if you can do it at home, that'd be great.
Oh, definitely.
Netflix is actually doing a kind of a cool thing. Like I said, when I was a kid, I was all about being up till midnight. And I think back, it's funny when you get that perspective as you get older of the dumb things you did as a kid, and you think, gosh, now that I'm my parents' age, when I was that age, I think I must have made them miserable. I think about Christmas morning where I was up at 4 a.m. wanting to go and to look at the tree, and they had, realistically, if they had done Santa duties or whatever, I was up late all night because we had been out into Christmas Eve thing, and then we would get home, and I wouldn't go to bed until 1, and then I'd want to be up at 4 or 5 in the morning, and they had been up all night putting presents out under the tree or whatever, and they had just gone to bed maybe an hour before, and I'm just thinking, gosh, that would have been miserable. I would have hated my kid doing that. And the same with New Year's Eve, where I wanted to stay up all night and see the ball drop, and it didn't count if you saw the 11 o'clock version, which they would show it live. You had to wait for the replay at 12 o'clock. So Netflix is actually doing a New Year's Eve countdown videos that you can start at any point in time.
Really?
And this is specifically for kids, so they have a bunch of kids. I don't know. I'm gonna read these features these videos that they feature different characters or things that kids might like. I recognized maybe 2 of these.
Okay.
I don't know how in tune you are with children's programming these days.
I am in tune with 90s Nickelodeon.
I don't see any of that on here. There is the Full House remake, the Fuller House. They have like a version that's including some Fuller House stuff. Okay. Alexa and Katie. I don't know anything about that. All Hail King Julian. Beat Bugs. Boss Baby. Okay, I know what Boss Baby is. Larva Island. That sounds miserable. Who wants to watch
Sounds gross.
That's terrible. Larva Island. Motown Magic, Pinky Malinky, Prince of Peoria, Skylanders Academy.
Wait, I don't like how you went by Pinky Malinky
Pinky
so
Malinky.
fast. That sounds like that is good for me. I like
Is that
that
something
one.
you ought to look up?
Yeah, that sounds like my nickname.
I'm going to take a look and see what Pinky Malinky is. I guess it is a Netflix show.
Oh, okay.
It is a character that looks suspiciously like a hot dog.
Oh my god.
Maybe
I
an
see what you're talking
eraser.
about. I'm gonna see if I can get this up here.
It's disturbing looking. Spirit Riding Free, Super Monsters, True. It doesn't really matter what but they're basically featuring a bunch of children's programming with a countdown, which you can say start at 8 o'clock, and it counts you down maybe an hour, and then you do the countdown. It's like, yeah, it's New Year, but it's actually 9 o'clock, and now kids go to bed. I think that's cool. Like, good on Netflix for giving parents a way out to like fool them into thinking. Maybe set all your clocks ahead so it looks like it's midnight, and just fool your kids into thinking it's time to go to bed.
Right.
There's also now, along with staying out all night drinking, there is our guest is here. Our guest has arrived. There is the inevitable hangover.
Oh yeah.
Did you, Christina, have any like surefire hangover cures when you were like the next day?
Of course. I had so many hangover cures because I always felt so awful starting the new year off that way. And I'm telling you, for about 12 years, I started the new year off that way, where I was just really drunk. There's a lot of them. There's ramen and water. There's
what?
Ramen.
Ramen and water?
You drink ramen, or drink ramen. You eat ramen and you drink a lot of water.
Okay. Welcome, Haley Rogers, to the studio.
Yay.
Thanks, I made it.
You made it.
I made it.
We're talking about New Year's Eve coming
Okay.
up. Do you have any are you a big New Year's Eve celebrator, or do you go to bed early?
Why does it have to be or that?
Well, either you stay up till midnight or you don't, right?
What's the other option?
I guess you could just drink until you're dumb and then fall asleep at 10:30.
No, I've never been. I don't know if okay. Oh, there we go. I've never really been a New Year's Eve person. But what I'll probably do is just stay home and drink.
Okay.
Like I do every day.
It's got really dark all of a sudden.
I love Haley being on the show.
every day.
Are you like not a New Year's person out of principle? Do you just not
No,
care about it? Is it not? Is it a meaningless day?
I just feel like nobody really has ever done anything. Like, and none of my friends have like really thrown New Year's parties.
Yeah.
And if they have, it's always been like, we're going out to the lake house for New Year's. And I'm like, I want to go all the way out to your lake house. And, just things like that. So,
Girl, Haley, you should come party with me. I will show you the New Year's way.
okay. Okay.
So, I know a lot of people. Now, my hangover cure was always just eat terribly the next day. It's kind of what I can specifically remember. We had that same night where we almost got hit by the wrong way driver. We had left my buddy's car in Fort Worth. That's where we picked him up. So we had to leave Springtown and drive half an hour, both miserable in the morning at like 10 o'clock in the morning to go pick his car up.
10 o'clock in the morning. That's like such a terrible time.
Oh, it's terrible.
to,
Yeah,
like, be
we had
up.
gotten home like 3 o'clock the night before, and so it
Yeah.
was just we were both just fully in the swings of having
just groggy,
abused
like,
ourselves.
sick.
But
Right.
was it like
Just-
the worst kind of like driving in the car when a hangover where you're like, I think I'm going to throw up, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
you're
don't
just-
want to move.
You're just trying to keep it together. And we stopped at Jack in the Box and just loaded up on Jack in the Box tacos. And for whatever reason, that made us feel better.
Oh my God. Chance just told me that the other day.
What,
That
as like
he
a-
did that too.
As like a hangover cure, or just like
kind of
as
like a craving.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I crave
Jack in the Box tacos.
They're delicious.
They're amazing,
Yeah, they're amazing.
everyone.
They're not tacos. I don't know what they are, but they're delicious.
So freaking good.
And they hit the spot that morning. I can tell you that. Like I didn't feel it. So I don't know. I had heard. I think it was like an old wives' tale that like greasy food helped you.
Yeah, greasy food.
But I leaned. I was like, okay, that's all you need to tell me. Greasy food helps me with something. I'm all about it.
Done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Done.
I don't need to know anymore.
Let me get those two sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffins. Why am I stuttering?
could-
I'm not drunk right now, I promise.
We'll see.
I know. We're going
but
to
we
test you
can
on that
be.
later.
You could tell me. Well, I mean, and this is the truth. That you could say greasy food has 10,000 negative effects, but it has one positive effect, I'm on board. That's good for me then.
Yep. Totally.
So another popular one that people would go, and I've never gone down this route, but the Pedialyte route. That people would, or Gatorade, but a lot of people go for
something like
Pedialyte.
that. Have you guys ever heard of vitamin water?
Yeah.
There's one called, I think it's called Revive or something like that. And it is basically made for having a hangover. It saved my life when I worked at Costco for 6 years because I would always come in with a hangover. And I'm telling you, I would drink this. And by the end of the day, I would feel fine.
So Pedialyte has figured out that they're being purchased probably mainly by hungover adults. And they've created actually a new drink that's marketed specifically towards adults.
Yes.
It's called Pedialyte Sparkling Rush. It's a powdered sparkling drink mix that you can add to your water. And they say they can't call it a hangover cure because there's no such thing except for just not drinking and staying hydrated. But they do say it should help the headaches and the symptoms that people often encounter post a night out, post New Year's Eve.
Right.
So I don't know. Look for that. Look for that on Tuesday, I guess. Tuesday morning, whenever you're regretting all the mistakes that you made the night before.
So it's already out in stores?
I believe so. Yeah, it looks like it is out in stores now. So we are going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we have some very exciting videos to show you. A conversation in the office sparked this realization that we have had some interactions with reality television, and we found the documentation. We have the receipts, and we're going to show them to you coming up here on the lunch break on RNCN. So stick around for that. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the lunch break. I'm sorry, did I catch you unawares over there, Christina?
No, we're good. Okay. Doing all of the things. We're good.
Sorry, I'm having to reach across the table to do this board stuff because it's the iPad is almost dead, and we don't want to have that happen.
Yeah, we noticed right before show. We were like, oh, yeah. So 6%. That's gonna be fun.
That's not good.
All right. I overheard a conversation that actually the two of you were having yesterday about how much you love Big Brother. How long has Big Brother been on? Like 30 seasons or something like that?
It's been on for like 18?
Yeah, something like that.
18, 19 seasons.
It's so good.
Y'all. me and Christina could just talk about Big Brother.
Okay.
If you want, let's just turn it into Big Brother discussion.
Let's maybe save that for another day.
Oh,
Big
okay.
Brother the podcast.
Not today. Okay.
Yeah, we'll start an offshoot, the lunch break Big Brother edition.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
And talk about it, and I'll have to get caught up on it because I've watched the show like once or twice, but I never.
It's good reality. Really good reality TV.
I
There was
auditioned
some not good reality
for this
TV.
thing.
Are there?
And she auditioned for
I
it.
did. I auditioned.
I want
and
to talk about that.
One day I'll make it. Big Brother.
Talk about it.
Are there reality shows like obviously Big Brother, but do you like the other house-based reality shows like The Real World or Jersey Shore, or I'm struggling to think of others, but you know. Those three
Come on,
that
dig into
exist.
your memory of all
Celebrity
the reality
Rehab.
shows I know you've watched.
Celebrity Rehab. I'm familiar with that one.
I liked Real World a little bit, like their games and challenges and stuff. Or is that Road Rules?
No,
or is
that's
it both?
Real World. Road Rules.
Road Rules.
It's called The Challenge, and that is the best.
Those were
ever.
cool.
Yeah.
Those are
Favorite.
hard challenges, and those people are actually very fit and like athletic. And I was like, I could never do it. I'd
They're
cry.
cutthroat. They're like
so hard.
They're professional like reality TV
Yeah.
star athletes that like there's some of them like what is his name? Johnny Bananas. And he will be on like a bunch of different shows and make like millions of dollars.
What else are you going to do with a name like Johnny Bananas?
Johnny Bananas.
You're kind of pigeonholed for the rest of your
Isn't
life.
that a name
Right?
of some? Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. Never mind.
So Christina, tell me about, because you had mentioned that you had sent in an audition, and we started talking about, well, I've auditioned for this and that, and it's surprisingly, those of us that are here on the show have tried to break into show business in one way or another.
Tried so hard
and failed at it miserably. So we just make our own show business here. Tell me about the auditioning process for Big Brother. Like, what? I assume you watched the show and you're like, I want to be a part of
that. Yes, I really like the whole social experiment of it. I can either be really bad at it or really good at it. I don't really know what would happen.
You don't know until you do it.
That's so true.
That's what's so cool.
That is very true. And I sent in a video submission, and I was very quirky, and I was still blonde at the time, and I don't know why that matters, but I figure.
Do you think the pink hair would have helped you?
I think so.
It does matter.
I really feel like it helps you stand out.
Yeah. I think they try to keep the ratio of like different hair colors and styles and things like that on
Mix
the show.
things up.
Mix things up, yeah.
But I'm really intrigued by the challenges and the puzzles and just the social game of it all. Can you play the people field and manipulate, or can you play a nice game and be loyal the entire time? And sometimes people will outplay themselves and backstab everybody in the house. And yes, they had the best game, but they don't win at the end. So to me, I would like to play like an honest game. So. Apparently they didn't like that, though, when I sent in the video.
So your audition didn't go well. Did they ever call you back at all?
Oh, no. I heard nothing at all. But at the same time, from somebody that I heard that used to cast the show a long time ago, they really kind of get it at the open casting calls is when they really fill all of the spots. And so you're kind of at a bad odds when you send in the video.
Pro tip for all you Big Brother hopefuls out there, go to the open casting calls. Are you gonna?
Kind of makes sense.
Are you gonna take a shot at it?
I don't think
Are we
I
gonna
could
see you
do
there
that
one day
for that long. I don't think I could do it.
I'd watch it if you were on.
So I would.
They'd make one new fan.
If I did
I'd watch it if you were on too. Yeah.
If I did it, I would do it. I mean, I'd go all in. I mean, it'd be. I would not have any. I mean, emotion's gone.
Right. You're a 100% sociopath. Like, I'm in there to win.
The only emotion I would have would be just maybe homesick or anything, but nothing about in the house. And like none of them could hurt my feelings. I don't care about any of. To me, they're just other chess pieces in the game.
You sound like Omarosa. Is what you sound
a little bit.
Who?
Omarosa from the first season of Apprentice.
She was on Trump's like presidential campaign for a little while or something.
So I'm like. Someone on Trump's.
Maybe not. Maybe you just sound
it doesn't
like
matter.
her.
I mean,
she plays
whatever,
the game, and you would too.
Playing the game. That's all.
Which brings up a point I mentioned that I tried out for the first season of Apprentice, when they were before it was ever a thing. I mean, obviously Trump was a thing, but this show had not. It was just, hey, Donald Trump's having it like a business themed reality show. And I was working for a small radio station in Fort Worth at the time. I was sort of the morning. I wouldn't call it stunt guy. I was like the intern there, but they would send me out to do bits like this. And they said, hey, we want to talk about it, so why don't you just go out and try to audition for it. And we went and hung out at the Dubliner over off of Greenville, and we sat around a table and talked about business or something. I really don't remember it all that well.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I didn't make it very far in that tryout. I did make it to the second or third round for The Weakest Link, which was, if you remember that game, I don't know if that game show is still on, but it was basically...
It is.
That game scares me, because isn't that the one where when you're the weakest link, you get like thrown down the floor or something? Like the floor just collapses.
Isn't it also embarrassing?
Do they do that? A little bit.
Isn't she mean?
Yeah, she does. She does
She
very,
humiliates
very
you.
much belittle you. And it was my first time, like, kind of seeing. I kind of knew this on a theoretical level, but I'd never really experienced it. And they were having casting in DC, and so we were like, oh, we'll just go do this for fun. And they bring you into a room and they give you a written test, just to see if you would, answer questions correctly, trivia type stuff. And I did well on that, and so I made it to the next couple of rounds. And then in those rounds, they sat you in a smaller room with just a few people, and it was I think a personality test. And they never said that outright, but they would just go around and talk to you and kind of see how you would do in the in this environment of around a lot of people. And I don't do that well in that environment, so I could see the people who were moving on, or those that were in there being boisterous and you know, talking about themselves, or just kind of being you know, the center of attention, and that's kind of who they gravitated towards. So I didn't do that well on that. Speaking of, though, Christina, you did make it through on a game show.
She's famous.
She is famous. She has been on network television.
I have. I actually I've never put it that way. So thank you. That makes it sound so much cooler.
A network TV star. Tell us about your time on this game show.
All right. So
Can you please see?
I lived in LA, and when I lived in LA, when you had days off, you just did really random things. And one day, me and my best friend were like, "Hey, why don't we go audition for Let's Make a Deal? It's free." And you go in and you get tickets, and actually you don't even need tickets. You just go into a line. They let you in as long as you're in costume. And
so you have to be in costume in order to make it on that show.
Yes, you have to have a costume. And they actually even have like a little gift shop where you can go in and buy a costume if you didn't bring a costume.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool. But anyway, so I put on my favorite wig and my favorite past Halloween costume, and we went in there. And what you do is you get interviewed by a producer before anyone ever gets into the studio. So yeah, I got interviewed by a producer. I was super hyper that day. Super hyper. We walk up to the producer and I'm like, "Hey girl, hey." And she's like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "I'm a singer." And she loved me.
Yes.
I was like, "I don't sing, I sang." Like,
I don't sing, I sang.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
You know, that whole center of attention thing. Yeah, I really like that a little too much sometimes.
Did you sing?
I did sing a tiny bit for her.
Nice.
But I was really ridiculous about it. So
Yes.
So yeah, and then next thing I know, we're sitting in the audience, and Wayne Brady points at me, and I got brought up on Let's Make a Deal.
So they don't tell you ahead of time that you're one of the people on the list to be picked?
No, not at all. And what's really interesting is my dad was on Price is Right when I first moved to LA, and you can't hear yourself being called. So when people are extremely surprised in the audience when you watch it, that's because they don't even realize that their name's being called at that moment.
Oh, okay.
They have cue cards that say your name. With Wayne Brady, he just points at you, and you don't really know if he's pointing at you or not. So you're hoping that he is. So once you figure it out, you run up on stage, and it's pretty awesome.
So we did have video of this. We don't have actual video. We have video of a video of this.
We have, let me warn you on this one. I was filming my television.
As all great videos
Quality
are.
is.
And you can hear
Suspect.
me laugh at some point of it because I'm so obsessed with myself on television.
All right, well, let's roll it. Let's
Okay.
let's
All
take a
right.
look at you on Let's Make a Deal.
Let's do this. Alrighty. I need to put the music up.
Oh.
I need two people right now to make a deal with me. Let's see. You and the silver right there. You and the silver. And this other lady right here. Right there. You are Shanika. Yes. Shanika and Christine.
Now, did you know this person?
Pleasure to meet the both of
Nope.
you. Now, this is Jonathan. Ladies, come on over here. You guys are so far away, so far away. This is Jonathan. Jonathan has a tray with 3 products on it. Viewmaster, Easy Bake Oven, and a G.I. Joe. Did you have any of those things growing up?
Yes. Easy Bake Oven.
You?
G.I. Joe.
You're the G.I. Joe, right on.
Nice.
And my little sister Kimberly.
It was like to say the funniest thing possible.
Was that true? Did you have a G.I. Joe?
I did.
Okay.
Didn't play with it much, but
Yeah. No, but the cakes were good, though. The cakes were good.
Cakes are not
Now,
good.
if you can pick a product.
They're not.
They're
on
not
this
good.
tray
They're
that
terrible.
Tastes like chemicals.
just laugh at everything that Wayne Brady says.
Then you win this.
All right. So pause it right here for a second. So you said laugh at everything Wayne Brady. So when you're down there, you're like, I gotta perform. I gotta be on. I gotta make this count, right?
I wanted to be as hyper as I was in front of the producer, but I'm not gonna lie, I was so nervous when he called me on stage. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Are you a
I'm
fan of the
about-
Wayne Bradys?
I love Wayne Brady.
He's great.
so much. He's fantastic.
And now the trip to Costa Rica is revealed to you, or were you looking at that saying, "Man, I really want that," or were you like, "I wish it could have been anything else"?
I've never been out of the country,
Okay.
still to this day, and this was like 6 years ago. And I really wanted to win a trip on a show, really badly. So yeah, this really interests me.
Okay,
I
all
was
right.
excited.
Roll the tape.
All right.
See what happens.
Remember, there may be one winning product, maybe two, maybe three. So, I picked you first, Christina. You tell me, which one do you think was introduced before 1960? G.I. Joe, Easy Bake, or the Viewmaster?
I love your thinking face so much. Like,
How long did this go on?
I love that face.
I want to say it took maybe like a minute,
Shanika,
30 seconds, maybe, I don't know, 30
the
seconds.
Viewmaster, the Viewmaster.
By the way, let me just say, hold on, we're pausing really
Okay.
fast. But let me just say on this that she originally also chose the G.I. Joe, and then was explained that she couldn't pick the same one as me. So,
So she was gonna do the
She got
same
a
one.
second chance by picking the Viewfinder. So
Honestly, I would have guessed the same, I think.
yeah,
yeah, I
don't
think I
know.
would have too.
Easy Bake was like brand new for me, at least.
Right.
And the other one probably was older, but the
Yeah.
G.I. Joe is the thing I would have imagined
Yeah,
would have been
I
before
think so, too.
1960.
exactly. Okay, let's.
Oh my
Go back
gosh,
here.
okay.
As a kid. So, Christina, you picked the G.I. Joe. We're going to see if it was introduced before 1960. Before we look at this, you can keep what you have, or I can give you curtain number 3.
That, oh my God, you didn't just offer me a curtain face.
Yeah.
So, are you sure about G.I. Joe?
And that's the old
That's
"let's
my
make a
best
deal"
friend.
thing.
Shout
Oh, right
out
there,
to
Pony.
Laura. Yeah.
Because you're not sure about G.I. Joe?
See what's behind the curtain.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Jonathan, show us what's behind G.I. Joe.
Yes, it does.
Wayne Brady just called me dumb, and I love it. It cracks me up.
Introduced in 64.
By the way, that was 4 years after 1960.
That was
It
close. That was a close
Seriously.
one.
It's a retro kitchen set.
All right, so you win this retro dining set, huh?
I did. I did win this retro dining set. It was amazing.
And you still have the fridge? Didn't you say that?
Yes, I still.
Sorry, I spoiled
have
it.
the fridge. Here, we'll go back to this little thing. I have that beautiful red fridge.
Look at that.
Uh-huh.
And I have the little chairs behind it. Actually, they've come in handy so much. The table broke like immediately.
Great.
But
You're telling me something one of a game show is cheap.
pretty much. But hey, that fridge is still kicking, and it's
All
like
right.
it's my liquor fridge.
That's a good looking fridge. No,
Nice.
that's a good garage
That
fridge,
is.
right?
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It really is.
Like one out in the workshop or something like that. That's a
Yeah.
good fridge for that.
I dig it.
Haley, you said you had auditioned when you were a child, right? For different things. Or these were these shows? Were these commercials? Were they?
I did different things when I was younger. I auditioned for commercials and industrial videos and things like that, and I didn't get a lot. But the things I did get
Industrial
called back.
videos?
Like, so I did a lot of industrial videos for Radio Shack.
Okay.
And that's basically
Oh,
like training
interesting.
videos if they need like a kid to be in a store.
Oh, okay.
It's not a commercial. It's
Not
just
like
for
I'm working in a
internal.
factory.
No.
Like a training video.
No, training videos. Training videos for sure. I did like a commercial once for Hasbro. I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I did something for Genie garage door openers, and I couldn't find that
Do
one.
you remember at least what you were doing in those?
Yeah. The Hasbro one, I'm on the couch with other kids and we're playing some like, it was like a game system of some kind.
Okay.
I think it was called like the Beam Box or something.
All right.
Can't remember. Anyway,
That
we're
sounds
like all
generic.
together, and then on the Genie garage doors, I'm walking down the street, and our parents or the kids' parents are in their garage singing Wild Thing. And as I get closer, because I'm one of the cute girls, as I get closer, the kid like grabs the Genie garage door opener and he closes the garage right as we're all passing
Oh, so as not to
by.
embarrass
To
him.
himself.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like a really cute one. Anyway, sorry. I also auditioned for a child version of Survivor.
This fascinates me because I do not remember this at all,
it
and I don't even
wasn't-
know how this would work.
Okay. I think the way I'm describing it when I say Survivor, it's definitely probably a very much watered down version of
Sure.
it, Survivor. It's just
They're not just throwing
beach
you on an
game
island.
type
Yeah.
things or whatever. They're not like, yeah, these kids can go out there in an arena, like not Hunger Games
Ship
type
them to the
stuff.
middle of
It's like
the
a, it's like a
Pacific.
bunch
This
of
is not the
kids.
Hunger Games.
Right.
A bunch of kids in a kiddie pool.
Yes. So So I auditioned for that when I was little, and I got called back a couple times, so they liked me. And then this one girl that I kept auditioning with, she actually got it. And so apparently they filmed it. They did it. They went through the process, but I don't know if it aired. So if anybody can find that,
maybe during the break,
I'd love to see it.
I'll look up, or I can just do it right now.
The girl's name who's in it that I know, her name is Kelsey Schultz.
Oh,
she was awesome.
So Vice did I'll have to send this to you. Vice did a story looking back on the mesmerizing and disturbing kids version of Survivor.
Oh, no.
Kid Nation, is that what it was called? Or
what year was it? Does it say?
This says 10-year anniversary, but that was 2017, so 2007. That probably doesn't line up.
That sounds about
is that
right.
Close?
Ish, maybe.
Yeah.
No.
I was about to say, you're young.
No, it was not 2007. It had to have been way.
Maybe they were working on it prior to that, and they just, this is what a counterpart to Survivor, Kid Nation featured a cast of kids ages 8 to 15 left to their own devices in a ghost town of Bonanza City, New Mexico for 40 days.
What?
All right, I'm gonna have to read up on this. This sounds fascinating. Kid Nation, everybody, look that up.
So it's not go on an island and be abandoned, but go to a random town in New Mexico
similar.
and
Oh,
be
did you want to see that?
Kinda.
A similar idea.
That's hilarious.
Let's see. This is a different article. Look
Don't
at this.
mind Haley's head, everybody.
Yeah, don't mind that. Sorry, this is great. This is great for the.
It says we're traumatizing
Yeah.
for children.
This is a bustle article.
More traumatizing than the Hunger Games.
All right, we'll dig into this a little bit later.
Okay.
When we come back, we are going to take another quick break here. When we come back, I'm going to get some music rolling. That sounds good.
Survivor theme song or no?
No, this is Detroit, which is a little bit like Survivor, I guess, if you're living in Detroit. When we get back, we're going to tell you, as we approach the new year, there are foods that will bring you good luck. We'll tell you the foods to eat on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day to ensure luck in 2019. That sounds fascinating, doesn't it? We'll be back here on the lunch break on RNCN. Stick around. Welcome back to the lunch break. We could not confirm if Kid Nation was actually the show that
I had auditioned
that
for.
you had auditioned for.
If it was,
it looks messed up.
If it was, I'm gonna just want to thank goodness I didn't get it.
That you didn't get on there.
I think I'd be a different person today.
The path that you would have had, that you would have led. That is a fork in the road of your life.
That's where it would have changed.
And Dark Haley is over here, who has gone through the the fires of Kid Nation.
That. Yes. Alter Haley ego.
You could have come,
that's my origin story.
You could have come out the other end as a Haley Katniss.
X-Men.
Katniss Haley. You know, you could have been like the Katniss.
That's
of
true.
Kid Nation.
That's so true.
Those sociopathic feelings could have really come out, and you said, "I'm gonna deal with these kids one by one, pick them off the island, pick them off of Bonanza City." Man. So New Year's Day is fast approaching. It is next Tuesday. Again, like I said, we will be here on Monday. So we'll talk more about New Year's Eve and New Year's Eve traditions coming up. But there is such a thing as good luck food. Now I know, and they mentioned this here. It's a Southern thing to eat black-eyed peas for New Year's Day, and they're supposed to bring you luck. I hate black eyed peas. Black eyed peas are one of the grossest foods in the world to me.
And they're the ones we're forced. We were forced
Yes.
as children.
My grandpa
Forced.
kept that tradition. And every New Year's Day, we would go out there, we would have lunch, and they would have a giant thing of black eyed peas. And everybody else in that side of the family loved black eyed peas, or at least tolerated them.
Yeah.
I didn't. And so every year, I would have to sit there at the table until I ate a freaking black eyed pea.
They made it personal too.
They did.
It's so weird. My how I associate my emotion that comes up is shame and guilt and disappointment in myself. Not even anger, just those things, because if you didn't eat all of your helping, they were mad at you. Actually upset with you.
I can very specifically
Not just
remember.
you. I mean,
me. With you,
Us.
the person not eating the black eyed peas. I can remember being probably 4 or 5 years old, and this was, I think, the first time I encountered this tradition, and I refused to eat them. I was just like, I'm not going to eat them. And thinking to myself,
why do I have to? I don't. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, thinking to myself, why?
Why are you doing this to me?
I wasn't thinking 5 steps ahead when I'm that young, but I'm thinking surely they're not going to make me sit here and eat black. They'll just give up eventually, right? It'll be hey, you should eat them, and I say no, and they'll give up. No, my grandpa insisted. Now, this was not an abusive relationship. It was just he believed in me eating black-eyed peas, so he insisted. It was you cannot get up from the table until you eat your black-eyed peas. And I sat there for probably an hour, bawling, because I didn't want to eat and alone because everybody else went off to do stuff.
Everyone else is having fun.
Yeah.
Going off in their day.
My uncle is in the other room playing computer games.
That's
all I wanted to do.
You can hear that fun.
That's all I wanted to do.
And all you see is the black-eyed peas staring at you.
Yeah. And they're like, come on, you can come play whenever you eat your black-eyed peas. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. So eventually I did, and I got to the point where I was eating them as if they were pills. So I'd take a spoonful and I'd drink like water, and I just swallowed them whole. I hated them that much.
Single tear goes down little Matt's face.
I never felt like they made me all that lucky. I don't know about you. Did you ever get around to eating the black-eyed peas, or did you give up?
My mom would cook them, and a lot of I would only eat them if my mom made them. A lot of the time, other family members brought them, and I hated them because they were hard, or they were just not flavorful. They were kind of dry. And my mom would just soak them in kind of a gravy brothy, nice.
Sounds amazing.
It is very, very.
You said gravy.
It made it a lot more beany than kind of that hard, kind of weird, rough texture of black-eyed peas. So I was okay with those, but even then I could only have 2 bites, and then I was like, okay, this is not.
No, thank you.
Why the worst kind of friggin' pea or bean would you choose this? What's wrong with pinto beans?
Christina, any New Year's Day traditions that you like? Any foods that you eat for good luck?
No, I not really. My grandmother always told me about black-eyed peas, but I avoided that bullet beautifully every year. So no, I don't know the torture that you guys are talking about.
If you want to avoid the black-eyed peas, there are other foods that in other countries that are supposed to bring you good luck. If you're into Japanese food, soba noodles are said to bring you good luck. The Japanese believe that they represent a long and prosperous life, and you have to slurp them up without breaking the noodle. So you have to get the entire noodle.
That sounds like
in
a
your
challenge.
Mouth. It is, yeah. So I like that it adds a little bit of a game aspect to it, right?
Yeah, like that right there. Kids would love that.
Grapes in Spain. Grapes are a traditional snack on New Year's Eve, and they'll eat them as it turns midnight.
Cool with that one.
Can that turn into wine?
I guess it could. Yeah, you're kind of ingesting grapes as well.
Yeah.
Fish, which I'm not a big fish fan, but apparently fish, the scales are supposed to represent coins.
So you eat it with the scales on it?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Absolutely,
it doesn't say if you have
100% no.
No. They could also signify abundance because they travel in large groups in schools.
And they're super healthy. I mean,
so do ducks.
It's really good for you.
That's true. I guess you could eat some ducks if you wanted to.
I'd rather eat a duck than fish scales.
And then pomegranate. So apparently in the Mediterranean, pomegranate is a very popular New Year's Eve food. You're supposed to smash in Greece at least, you're supposed to smash the pomegranate against the front door at midnight. And the more seeds that come out, the more luck you will have.
It's like like you see like 2 and you're like, oh crap.
Yeah, like I've just made a
wish I
terrible
hadn't
mistake.
done that.
Yeah.
Now I want to take every pomegranate and just smash it against
them all.
random people's
Give me
doors.
another pomegranate.
I want to see. There was one more thing that I wanted to look at before we. Here we go. We didn't talk much about Christmas, but I hope everybody had a good Christmas. Yeah. There was a kid this was in Canada. A 7-year-old boy in Canada got snow pants, which I assume are just warm pants for Christmas.
Waterproof, probably.
I have been this 7-year-old kid at one point where you start getting clothes for Christmas and you're like, I'm not about this. I'm still a child. Nowadays, if I get clothes for Christmas, I'm like, thank you. I got work gloves at one side of my family's Christmas this year. And I was like, this is great. I needed some
This
gloves
is
for work.
useful.
Yeah, I could use this.
I am officially old.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, well, thank you. Cool. Well, it's funny. They have a thing each year where it's like people around the same age typically get the same thing, and we do it one by one. So people that were in my age group were opening their presents, and they were all getting work gloves and other stuff like that. I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna like? I want some work gloves. Like that looks awesome. Yeah. And sure enough, they had some for me, so that was nice.
Good.
This kid was not about that. He called 911 because to report his parents had given him snow pants for Christmas, and was very, very upset.
That's ridiculous.
So the police were like, nah, you shouldn't do that. The officer explained that they didn't want to waste any resources. And as for what happened to the snow pants recipient, they say the boy was given a talking to. So that's it. I guess he wasn't, written up or taken to jail for calling 911.
But what they're not telling you is this kid is never going to get a Christmas present ever again.
Never.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine calling the cops on your parents because you didn't like the Christmas present you got?
That is ridiculous. That kid.
I want to know more about him.
Have to walk to school. Have you seen those videos where when a kid bullies, they make the kid walk to school for 5 miles? That's what that kid should do, or it should live in a shed for a day.
In those snow pants.
In those snow pants, yeah.
You should have to wear them every day.
Wear them even in the summer.
That's what I would do. I'd be like, okay.
Let's just
put your snow pants on again.
You're gonna learn to live with this.
I know you've had them on the last few days, but
keep them going.
Better appreciate these.
Well, we are just about out of time here on the lunch break. Christina, I appreciate your help.
Thank you.
And Haley.
Yes.
If folks could just give me a moment to talk about this wonderful person sitting next to me here, because this is the last official lunch break for Haley Rogers, because this is your last day at Real News PR and at RNCN by extension, and so.
You're gonna make me cry.
Don't cry yet. So I'm sure we'll see you again. I hope you come back. But in that regard, we do have, Christina, if you could help me out here. We do have a video
really?
for you. You have been I won't call it a regular, but you have been a consistent guest contributor to the lunch break, and we appreciate that. So we have a short video of some of your moments here on the lunch break.
Oh my God.
Christina, if you wouldn't mind rolling that for us, please.
Okay.
Oh my God. I will remember. Sorry.
Feel free to sing along if you need to.
Okay. I was like, let's hope.
Oh, I should probably turn up the sound.
No way.
Special guest in studio, Haley Rogers, our very own. All things written, all things put down in the old form of handwriting. I don't know that word.
That's good.
It's all also down the route of how people are serving food in restaurants these days. It's just everyone is trying different things.
Maybe he's really impatient and he just wanted to get right into the middle of it. He just wanted to get to the goods. You know what I mean? Maybe he just knows what he wants. Bieber knows what he wants.
I guess we're all mesmerized by the movement that Haley's doing. What is going on is amazing.
Oh, I have no answers.
Okay. It's just too much.
I just want to. Oh my gosh.
I think she tried to sex it up. And I think it failed.
But Fergie is sex. Why would this have failed? She is so good at all, like anything she's ever sang to me. I feel like she's amazing.
Do you think Fergie is sex?
I'm not going to disagree with that statement.
I'm sorry if that was inappropriate.
No,
My first
please.
time on podcast.
I'm on board with it.
Yeah.
Cannot handle this.
Oh,
So
that music was.
I tried to find the saddest possible music.
That made me feel like you just got voted off of Big Brother.
I think
that
so.
Was, like,
You're not on the
messages.
island. You're not in Kid Nation anymore.
I'm not there.
You have to go be an adult now.
I just full circled it. Yes.
No, but seriously, I could not mean this any more seriously. You were one of my favorite people who I've ever known in my life.
Oh my
and
God.
I appreciate. I can't. I'm sorry that Zach and Anna aren't here.
Me too.
But I'm sure they wouldn't disagree with me when we say it has been a pleasure having you just like a chat message away to say, hey, we need somebody for the lunch break. Come down and be a part of the show. So I am. It is. I think it's appropriate to call it bittersweet. It's a little more bitter for us. But we're happy for you, and we look forward. We look forward to whatever it is you end up doing, and the great things that you do. You've touched us so much, and I can only assume that you will make the lives better of other people that you see. We are lesser that you are leaving. But
I want to curse. Shoot.
I hope you come back, and we will save a seat for you anytime you'd like to come back to the show.
Thank you so much, Matt.
You're welcome.
Thank y'all so much. There's just the words are not here. I just can't say words. It made me so emotional. I love y'all so much. I'm gonna miss y'all so much, and I will be back. I will visit. I'm welcome back to the premises and to see y'all and have soup day and Taco Thursday sometime or something.
Soup day?
Soup day. Anyway.
No, seriously.
Thank you.
We have appreciated you being here, and I only hope that the new people that you'll be working with will appreciate you just as much.
They will.
And of course they will.
They'd be crazy if they didn't.
And I hope at the very least you at least continue watching the show because we need the viewers. So
on that note,
I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it if you
Don't
did.
worry.
So yeah, that'll be the end of the show for us today. Seriously, thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Good luck.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
I love you, Haley.
Goodbye to everyone else. Goodbye. Thank you, Christina, for your hard work today.
Thank
we appreciate
you.
it. And hopefully we'll see you on Monday.
Only, Facebook only saw maybe 3/4 of this, but
that's okay. They got the good stuff. They got the goods. All right, we will be back again on Monday to ring in the new year with you here on the lunch break and RNCN. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you then.
I